Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Mental Health Hub, MHub, as we talk about becoming a stress master. And this is about becoming a master of your stress in the workplace. Today, it's my pleasure to be with you. I'm Carleen Human. I am Employee Wellbeing Program Expert from the Mental Health Hub and a presenter and trainer. Fortunately, I'm not alone. I am joined by my beautiful colleague, Magnifique. Magnifique, kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Magnifique. I'm a well-being trainer and a clinician at MHub. And I'm so happy to be talking about mental health with you, Kaylin.
Thank you, Magnifique. And yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you as well. And the topic today is so important for all of us because stress is a part of all our lives every day, right? And so what we are going to do today is we are going to have a few points on the agenda. We will start off with a check-in practice, ask you to do some self-reflection wherever you are at this moment. Write some things down in your journal. We will then talk about the difference between burnout, stress, and anxiety, and understanding what is the connection and the difference between these things. What does it mean if people say that I have burnout? We will then talk about the importance of having a good work-life balance. And last but not the least, Magnifique and I want to send you home with some tips to better manage your stress and your anxiety in your everyday lives. So buckle up as we start off with a check-in. The idea with this check-in is for you to connect with the content that will be shared during the rest of this session. And so we have two questions for you. And this is not a right and wrong answer. This is not about telling your manager or your colleague what you are thinking. This is about you going inwards, taking a pause and just reflecting. It is wonderful to write things down that you reflect because there's something that happens in our brains when we think, speak, and write. And as you won't be speaking with us today, you can write this. There's two questions. The first question is, what are the things in your job at the moment that brings you joy? What brings you the most joy in your work? And the second question is, what are the things that brings you the most challenges? What do you find the most challenging in your work today? So write these down. And it's not about overthinking this. It is about what comes first to mind, because that is your reality right now. If you can write that down, that will also help us as we go through today's content. What brings you the most joy in your work? And what do you find so highly challenging at this very moment? And remember, throughout this session, we are talking about your mental well-being. We are talking about your mental fitness, your emotional well-being. And so there's nothing wrong with what comes up for you. It is about being honest in this moment about what comes up for you. Thank you. Right. What is the difference? What is stress? What is burnout? What is anxiety? And so, as you can see from this beautiful, colorful graphic, these three things are very interconnected. And Magnifique, being a clinician and a psychologist, will explain to us how well interconnected and how deeply interconnected, I should say, stress and anxiety is. It goes hand in hand with each other, but we can separate them into concepts to give us a better understanding what we are talking about. When we are talking about stress, we are talking about our response to pressure. When the going gets tough, when the heat is turned up, when the deadlines are coming, when there's traffic, when there's multiple things that needs to be done, then something happens in our minds, which is a completely biological and normal response to these pressures. And this is called stress. Anxiety, on the other hand, is feelings of persistent fear or feelings of persistent worry. Sometimes this doesn't even have a clear cause. Sometimes this can be pathological anxiety with both mental and physical symptoms that manifest in our bodies. You have the feeling when you are anxious, when you are stressed, and this is similar, that the demands on you are higher than your resources. That is the common link between stress and anxiety. Then when it comes to burnout, we are talking about an exhaustion that comes from chronic stress over time. When you are in a state of stress and or a state of anxiety every day, and you stay in that heightened state of stress, burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that is caused by excessive and prolonged stress. And this is often work-related. That is just to clarify what we are talking about today. I wish to say at this point that sometimes when we get tired in the workplace, Magnifique, I know sometimes people say that, oh, I'm feeling a bit lazy today, but maybe they are not lazy.
Yes. Sometimes it's the signs of burnout. You've been under a lot of stress, and then it is causing you to have some physical symptoms of that can show up like laziness because you are not feeling like you want to wake up in the morning. You can feel like it's laziness, but it can be a sign of physical exhaustion that is showing into your body. So we need to pay attention and pause and then reflect on what is going on in our lives. Sometimes some symptoms are manifesting through our body, our emotion, our behavior, and we have to pay some attention to notice those changes and to ask ourselves, what does this tell me? Sometimes it is telling you that you are under a lot of stress and you need to pause and dissect. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for explaining to us that it is not laziness. And I think we confuse laziness with exhaustion. And then we start to do this thing, negative self-talk. And this is not helpful. And you are reminding us to rather pause and reflect on, why am I feeling like this? And so, yes, as we've said, stress and anxiety often goes hand in hand. And the session today is to prevent stress and anxiety from reaching this big thing in your life that results in burnout. Because once we have burnout, it takes a long time to recover. It's something that creeps upon one slowly over time as we push through, as we try not to be lazy, as we try to do our best, right? That is our intention. But if we don't stop and reflect, and we don't listen to our bodies and our feelings, we can burn out. Now, stress and anxiety goes hand in hand. Stress can cause anxiety, and anxiety can cause stress. So everyday anxiety and worries, same as stress, is quite normal. It happens to all of us depending on the stresses that we have in our life. And some days are more stressful than others. But when it comes to extreme feelings of anxiety, this interferes with our daily life and our normal functioning. For example, if I feel very anxious about doing this presentation and I am overly anxious, my anxiety would have started already last night or maybe the night before and would have resulted in me struggling to sleep for 2 nights. And then it will also extend until after this presentation. So this abnormal anxiety, where it becomes a problem and I can't function in my life anymore, is out of proportion with the actual event that is happening. So anxiety is that feeling of fear, that apprehension of something that is to come. It's persistent, excessive worries that don't go away, even if there isn't a stressor or a trigger. And these feelings can often cause more stress than the actual event itself. If this is the case, if this is how somebody in this room is feeling, Magnifique, what would be your advice?
One of the good things is to realize that you're having those worries, is to realize that you are suddenly feeling the worry that can't go away. And when you are able to realize what is going on, it's now that you will see, what should I do about this thing? What is worrying me? Am I able to overcome these worries? One of the things I can say is to try not to see the situation in a negative way, because thinking negatively will add to the problem, will not solve the problem. See the situation that you are in as a challenge and know that you have power to overcome your challenges. And when you are not able to shake those things, or you are not able to see a way out, it's okay to ask help from other people. If you are feeling like you are overwhelmed with a situation, you can ask a friend to help you out. Or maybe if you feel like your friends are not helping you, you can also reach out to the professionals, like psychologists like me. You can reach out to MHub, a clinic that provide mental health support. You know, it's not here. We are also telling people that it's okay to ask for help sometimes, because yeah, anxiety can be a disorder. It can be a disease that we even need some medication. So it's okay to also know that it's okay to ask professional help for what you are going through. But most importantly, whatever you are facing, whatever you are going through, know that it's a challenge that you can pass. You are bigger than your problem. You are bigger than your challenges. Thank you so much for asking, Helen.
Beautiful. Thanks for that encouragement and making us feel empowered and knowing that it's okay not to be okay. So back to this thing called burnout, which we are trying to prevent. Hence, we want to be masters of our stress. This is another self-reflection practice. And we want you to be honest. And again, there's no right or wrong. It is you about taking a small pause right now, right here, and just seeing the signs, challenges, symptoms that you've experienced over the last 30 days on a regular, almost daily basis. Have a look and note down for yourself over the last 30 days, which of the following have you regularly experienced? Fatigue, tiredness, or lack of energy.
Hello, Kaylin. Hello, Kaylin. I think there's some technical issues from Kaylin's side.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I'm hearing.
The connection.
Hmm.
I was saying fatigue, tiredness, lack of energy. I felt it.
Hmm.
Lack of motivation. Is this something you have felt over the last 30 days? Difficulty sleeping or insomnia? Negative thoughts or thinking patterns? Magnifique, you were talking about that. Lack of resilience? When you feel that, you know, things are too hard and you can't push through anymore, there's too many challenges, you're feeling overwhelmed by it. Have you experienced bad interactions on a regular basis with other people at work or at home? So these are all signs of burnout. And if you tick all of these today, it very well could mean that you are a little bit burnt out, or maybe already burnt out, or at risk. Either way, if you have ticked all of these, it's a good time to pause, to reflect where you are, how you're feeling, and also being very kind and compassionate with yourself, because this does not mean that you are lazy, as Magnifique explained. This may mean that you need some support, and it is okay to ask for help. So the reality is that 1 in 5 staff, 1 in 5 working adults globally struggle to manage stress levels at work. Hear this, 1 in 5 people struggle to manage their stress levels at work. And stress is a leading cause of burnout. Burnout is that response to chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. This is how it is defined by the World Health Organization. And a key dimension of this burnout is an overwhelming exhaustion. Another key dimension is feelings of detachment from your job even. This is why today's session is so important. Today, Magnifique and I want to share with you 4 crucial competencies, mental fitness competencies that we all need to grow and develop so that we can better manage our stress and anxiety, taking good care of ourselves and our well-being, thinking positively, becoming more self-aware, and then improving our work-life balance. Magnifique, it is time for point 1, probably the most important one, taking good care of ourselves. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kaylin, for explaining to us what is stress, what is anxiety, and what is burnout, and how all those things are related, and how they work hand in hand. Because we have found out that Stress can cause anxiety, anxiety can cause stress, and when this stress is prolonged, it can turn into burnout, which is a very bad situation that we can't wish anyone to be in. And one of the crucial tip that we're going to give you today is doing this individual well-being wheel. This wheel, it's a picture that shows us the key important areas of our lives. Most of the time, we take care of our physical health. We wake up in the morning before going to work. We wash our body. We put some lotion. We put some clean clothes. But then we don't take a lot of time to care about the other important key areas of our lives, which include social health, environmental, financial, spiritual, emotional, and intellectual. And when these key areas of our lives are not in balance, it can cause stress, it can cause anxiety, it can lead into burnout. That's why today we are telling you that it's important to take care of this individual well-being wheel. And how can we take care of this wheel? It's taking some time to reflect and taking some time to score, like to see how you are doing in each area of this wheel that is in front of you. For example, physically, we need to be doing well physically by examining, are we having good sleep? Are we getting the needed nutrition to feed our body to be physically well? Are we taking some time to rest? Are we doing some physical exercises? Socially, are you taking some time to cultivate this good relationship, positive relationship with friends, with family? Are you finding time to socialize? Environmental, where are we living? It can be at work, it can be at home. Is it a clean space that gives you the warmth, that gives you peace, or is it the one that is at risk? Are you working from a clean and healthy and good environment at work and even at home? It's really crucial to think about those things. And there is this other part, financial part. This part is also very crucial because we found out, like, when we are not doing well financially, it can even impact other parts of this wheel. Most of the time when I talk with people, they tell me when I have money, when I am able to manage my money well, it's when I'm mentally fit. A lot of people link directly mental health with financial health. So when we are able to manage our resources so that it can meet our needs, it's a very good thing to do for us to prevent stress, this anxiety, and burnout we are talking about. Spiritually, a lot of people might feel not satisfied because they feel like they have no purpose or they are not serving that purpose if they have one. So spiritually, are you able to connect with yourself, and are you able to understand your values and, like, whatever you believe in, it's religious belief, culture norms, are you able to be in line with all those things that you believe? It's a very important thing to look at as well. Emotional, are we able to understand our emotions? Are we able to manage them? Are we able to communicate our emotions? It's also another area that we need to take care of. Intellectual, learning new things, allowing yourself to grow, not to put yourself into a box where you are like always the same, learning new things, applying those skills in your life. So when all these 7 important key areas of our lives are balanced, it helps us to be it helps individual to be well. And when they are not in balance, it's where it can cause those stress, anxiety. So today, me and Kayleen, we are telling you to everyone to draw their own individual wheel and score from 0 to 10. How are you doing in each area? Physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually, every part of your life. And then if you're having like lower score, right, like near to 0, that's where you feel like you are not doing really great. But near to 10, it means you are doing great. So also find one thing that you can do from this moment, that you can do to improve your well-being in each area. Write one thing that you can do, that you are going to start practicing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You can start small. And one thing that is really good about this wheel is that if you start to practice even one thing, it can also impact the other areas. Like, I like to give an example where I started practicing, like, I was really feeling stressed, and then I paused, I did this wheel, and then one of the things that I wrote that I must start to do is to take time to sleep early, like at 9 p.m. I should be in bed. And then I realized that in the morning, I could feel energy, and those energy allowed me to connect with people at work, to connect, to have energy to call my friends. I was really in a good mood to reflect about my emotions. I was in a good mood to sit down and see, I have this money, how am I going to spend it? It's like it also impacts the other areas of this wheel, not the other areas. That's how this wheel is a very important thing. And another tip that and this also leads us to saying that me as Magnifique and also at MHub, we are here to tell you that it's okay to talk about mental health, and it's okay to feel bad sometimes, because our mental health is on a continuum. Sometimes you are good, and other times you feel really bad or not very good. And that is okay, because we are in a world that a lot is going on. We face a lot of challenges. We lose our loved ones, and that's normal and that's okay. What we're telling you today is to know that it's okay to feel those feelings, and it's okay to ask help when you feel like you need some help. And we are not telling you that you should only seek help when your problems are starting to interfere with your daily functioning. No, we don't need to be sick to go and ask professional help. We need to be aware and then notice when you need the actual help before it's even become a neediness. And we are not here to judge you. We are here to support you to be strong and to continue being strong. Another second tip we are going to give you today. One of the, as Kaylin beautifully said, stress is a normal reaction to daily pressures of life, to daily challenges. And what makes stress bad or good is how we react to it. Actually, stress in its nature is natural. It's neither positive or negative. It and how we approach it can make it positive or negative. So, as I said before, positive thinking or challenging your negative thoughts about the challenge that you're going through will help you to handle stress in a positive way. the research has shown that people who think positively, their brain activate this problem solving area. There is problem solving area in their brain that is activated, which allow them to approach stress in a positive way. It's allowed them to see stress as some challenge that they can handle instead of something which is bigger than themselves. So when we approach stress as something, as a challenge, as something that can be solved, as something that can be handled, it also promotes this happiness. It gives us power over our problems. While the also research has shown that the people who tend to be negative, mostly when they are approached by pressure and challenges, they tend to feel like they can't do anything. They learn out of their problems, which increase stress in return. While those ones who see it as a challenge they can overcome, they can even ask for help. They can seek for alternatives to move through the stress instead of learning from it. And this is a good thing to do, because when we think about stress as something we can handle, we seek for positive coping mechanisms. That's will lead to that challenges being solved, and it will promote our well-being in our life. And then another thing that we are, okay, Kayleen, before we move on, how do you think about this positive thinking? Is it something we can like tell people to be practicing daily, like approaching problem, challenges, pressures in a positive way?
Thank you, Magnifique. Yes, I do think if our thinking about being stressed cause us more stress, then the spiral goes down. So perceiving situations as positive is a good approach to life in general, right?
Yes, I do.
And
think
yeah,
that is true.
but this does not mean that things are always going well. Like you explained to us on the mental health continuum, there could be days where it is too much, or maybe you have had a very bad experience. You may have had a very negative experience. We are not saying that if you have bad experiences or you have sad days, that you should push it under the rug and pretend as if nothing is wrong. That is not what we're saying. But we are saying that if we consider this stress to be just a bad thing, that might be causing us more stress. And this leads me to ask the question, do people think, you in the audience, think that stress do you think stress can be good for us? What do you think, Magnifique?
For me, I can say that I perform well under a bit stress, because for me it gives me motivation, like to do something. It's motivate me. It's kind of motivating. Yeah, thank you so much for putting this right. Yes, as for me, how I see things, and maybe for you and the other people who might think like me, when we have this bit of stress, we are motivated. It's lead us to increase our focus. Like when I know that I have an interview in a week, I'm I get motivated and my focus is on studying for that interview. It improved my performance because yes, I have an interview. I have to perform well so that I could pass that interview. Can be exciting. Wow. You know, an interview is exciting. Like it's a big event that can impact my life positively or negatively, but then it's exciting because I know the positive thinking I was telling you about. I know that I can pass that interview. I'm bigger than that interview. So it promotes this excitement in me. Lasts for a short period of time. Another thing, a good stress is something that lasts for a short time. It's like when the stressor is gone, I'm back to my normal state. And it's about stress when there is no threat or fear. When you don't have that anxiety that we're talking about. But then stress can be bad when you are facing stress and then it decreases your performance. Instead of increasing your performance is decreased. But stress can also feel like unpresent. And can be, okay. Yes, Kayleen, I can see that you raised your hand.
No, please continue. Please continue. Then I can also add something. You're making me think now.
Okay. Okay. You can see that it's a bad stress when it is now prolonged, or maybe it is causing you some anxiety and it is causing you some health problems. Like you feel like some people, some people can feel their stress within their shoulders, or maybe you can even feel it somewhere like your head is now heavy. So when it is causing you health problems, it's a sign that that stress might be bad and you need to do something about it. Kaylin, you can go ahead and add on that.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is that if we want to become a master of our stress, one of the tips is that we need to be able to recognize when is this good stress and when is this bad stress. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then you help us go to our third tip that we are giving them today, because the other self-awareness that you were saying, like we need to be able to notice that this is a bad stress, this is a good stress that I am feeling. And yes, self-awareness is to taking some pause and then pay attention to your inside voice, feeling, emotions, but also your behaviors. Sometimes it is not thoughts, sometimes it is not feelings, they might be even behaviors. And to take some rationally understand those feelings and how they are affecting your decisions, and notice your priorities that is driving your life. And then someone can ask me, how can I cultivate that self-awareness? How can I be self-aware? A lot of people ask me that. And yeah, there are a lot of things that we can do to understand. One is pausing and listen to yourself. Another tip that I give people is to seek feedback from other people. I know it's not easy to get some feedback because sometimes feedback can be negative. But when we are talking self-awareness, we are also talking about being able to receive those negative and positive. Receive them not for you to be defensive, but for you to compare the ones that the feedback that you get from other and from the things you already know from yourself. Another tip for self-awareness that I like to give people is to observe our reactions. Like when something happens, especially when you are facing with challenges, someone is raising their voice on you, how do you react? Observe that. How do I react when these certain things happens? Does it brings me joy? Does it brings anger out of me? And then when you notice all those things, pause. Pause, allow yourself to think, how should I react? How should I respond to this instead of reacting? Because our emotions are some automatic things that happen when we face challenges. We need to have this emotional intelligence of being aware of our emotions. And thank you so much for putting this wheel of emotion. When we are able to give our emotions name, when we are able to name our emotions, we notice them, we name it, and then we navigate it. How am I feeling about these things? Where does these things coming from? What can I do about it? And as we can see, this wheel contains a lot of emotions that we human beings have. In the center, they are the obvious one: happy, surprise, fear, anger. But as this circle is extending, we can also see a lot of other emotions that we have. And when we are able to name it, facing like to name it, like if you know that you are sad because you are bored, if you know that you are sad because you are lonely, you can do something about it, which is different to someone who doesn't know about, who knows nothing about it. So today we are telling you that being aware of our emotion will help us to navigate those emotions and will help us to prevent stress and the anxieties. Kaylin, can you tell us more about this self-awareness?
Thank you. Yes. Yes, and this is such a good tool, this self-awareness of our feelings and emotions to grow our emotional intelligence. We hear everybody talk about emotional intelligence is so important, especially for leaders, right? But also when you're a parent, also when you're a colleague and a team member, you know, you need the ability to understand your own emotions and also understand empathy for that of others. And this wheel is that tool that can help us. And it helps us grow our emotional intelligence. And so self-awareness helps us, as you said, with this rational understanding of our visions and the priorities that drive our life. And even more importantly, self-awareness improves our what they call emotional reflexivity. And reflexivity is very different to a reaction. When I get a fright, I might scream. That's a reaction. This is, I'm screaming before I have identified the feeling of fear and named it. It happens like this. Emotional reflexivity means that I can pause, as Magnifique said. This is the capacity to recognize how this situation is making me feel. Now, we don't, in the case of walking in the forest and coming across a snake, I don't have the time to think, about my emotion, and this is okay. And I don't think anybody will judge me. I will not have the capacity to recognize my feeling. I will have fear and jump and maybe scream. But we are talking in the workplace and with our family at home, where this is not a life and death situation, right? This is maybe somebody at work that is making you irritated, feeling irritated or frustrated. This is not life or death. So let us not overreact. Let us become aware. Let us notice I'm feeling irritated. Where on the wheel is irritated and what other emotions and feelings are close to that. And this becomes a very important tool to explore yourself and get to know yourself. Self-awareness. And then emotional reflexivity is this ability to step back, reflect on our emotional response to a specific situation. While I'm doing this, I'm very kind to myself because I'm a human being, and getting a fright is normal. Feeling angry is normal. But now I can step back and reflect. How is this feeling shaped by my values? Am I feeling angry because I hear one person tell a lie to another person and it makes me feel angry? My anger is valid. And I can say, okay, I'm stepping back and I'm thinking it is anger that's coming from the fact that my value in life is honesty. And then I can respond with intention. Instead of giving that person a cold shoulder or saying something mean or nasty, I can actually say to that person in a private situation, there's something I would like to share with you if you are open. And then you can talk to the person and say that one of the things that's very important to you is honesty. And so when somebody is dishonest, it makes you feel angry. And that is a response with intention instead of reacting in a negative and bad way, because that is not good for the relationship. In short, self-awareness, what Magnifique shared with us, is our mirror to look at ourselves. And then emotional reflexivity gives you this lens so that you can interpret what you've seen, felt, you can question it, understand yourself, and then you can choose. And this is the important part. This is empowering. This is where the power comes from. You can then choose how to engage and respond. And I think most of you know this quote about accepting those things in life that we can't change. And, having the courage to change the things that we can. And then having the wisdom to know the difference. So self-awareness helps us to have that wisdom and will help you to know when there are things in life that you cannot change. I had to learn to accept that I cannot change the traffic. I cannot. I tried by gritting my teeth, by having a fist, by clutching the steering wheel. It didn't make any difference. No difference. The only thing that made a difference was when I got up earlier in the morning and left home earlier. Went to bed earlier at 9 o'clock, same as you, Magnifique. And then I could navigate the traffic better. But I had to accept that the traffic is not something that I control. So self-awareness helps us to know when to accept things that we cannot change. And this is so powerful, right? Okay. The next part, a question to the audience. Magnifique, please go ahead.
I can add on what you say. When you're not able to accept things we cannot change, it brings more stress and more anxiety to ourselves. So this self-awareness, it's important because it helps us even to realize things we cannot change. Some of the things, it might be things that are coming from outside, or even things with like bad behaviors that we have, bad things that we have, we cannot change anything about. Like some people, like some physical appearance, like you don't like your nose or any other thing that is causing you worry or that's stressing you. So self-awareness also give us ability to see things we can change and those ones that we cannot change. And it also give us ability to accept all those things that we cannot change. So now they become our friends. It's like it's your good friend that you carry for the rest of your life. And that good friend is okay to carry on with life with him or her. So that's, thank you for sharing this acceptance, because it's one thing that will help us to have this good health and to feel good about our emotions and about our like our physical, our all those areas. There are things we cannot change. Acceptance is, it will help us to fight this stress and anxiety. Thank you.
Thank you so much for adding that. It really does help us to become masters of our stress, knowing when we can let go and accept, right? Thank you. And this is easier said than done, but we are reminding each other that really the source of our stress, we do have control over it. All right, on to the next part. We have a question for all of you. And since Magnifique, it's just the two of us in the room, it will be a question for you. So, and you have to be honest, even though we are colleagues. Right in this moment now today, do you feel that you have a good balance between your work and your personal life? No judgment. It's a question and you can answer openly and honestly.
For me, when I'm thinking about work-life balance, I feel like some days are different. Some days I have different priorities than others. I might wake up feeling like these things needs to be done. And when I feel like these things needs to be done, I must do it for me to feel balanced. Like if it will take me to work from 8 until 8 p.m., I will do that for me to feel balanced. Because for me, it's more of what is priority in the moment. If I feel like my family needs me more, I need to communicate at work that I need a day off to take care of something in my life, in my personal life. That's what balance means to me. Seeing the priorities and attending to my priorities. And of course, I know I need to have also, I am a responsible person. I cannot be mixing personal life and work, but then I need communication, to a good communication to my supervisors, to tell them that this thing needs to be done first so that it won't even affect my work. Thank you so much for letting me know.
Yeah.
For
Thanks
asking
for
me this question.
I like your answer, and it reminds us that work-life balance is different for everyone. I also heard you say that you are responsible. It makes me reflect on work-life balance and having work-life balance requiring self-discipline and you putting in healthy boundaries, I also heard you say. So this is a good reflection. Do you feel that you're able to balance your personal life with your work demands? And what we want to say to you, and this is Carleen Magnifique here at the Mental Health Hub at MUP, we believe that if we talk about work-life balance, actually, we are talking about, is your life balance okay? Because in your life is work. Work is but a part of your life. And what we want to say to everyone when we are talking about preventing burnout is that it is time to pause and to denormalize this idea that we have to be working all the time. And to do this pause and to reflect on this does require self-awareness. To take a step back, like Magnifique explained, what is currently my priorities? What is currently causing me a lot of stress? What is causing me a lot of discomfort? How is this affecting how I perform? How I treat my loved ones? How I treat my colleagues? How is this stress and this discomfort affecting my personal life? What am I prioritizing over other things? If I spend a lot of time at work at the moment, what am I sacrificing at home in the family? These are the kind of questions that we want you to ask yourself when it comes to work-life balance. And as I said, it's actually life balance. When we spend a lot of time at work because there is a project that needs completion and there is a deadline, the whole team is involved and there's after hours involved, but it's only for a short while and we are all working towards the same goal. That is okay. But if this is happening week in after week out, then you are likely to not be in a good individual well-being wheel balance. What's happening to the other components of your well-being wheel? And this is why we are saying pause and reflect and think. So, Magnifique, you explained it so beautifully. We don't think that work-life balance is like 50-50. In fact, this is a good image to show that people have different priorities in their life. And sometimes there is a big project and then, work takes a big chunk and life only a little part. But we would actually like for you to have your work-life balance by having life as your main circle. And inside that life, there is work, there is family, there is physical fitness. Remember what we said in the beginning. Having a poor work-life balance is one of the leading causes of stress. And chronic stress is one of the leading causes of burnout. So if we want to stay strong, sustain our energy and our resilience, we need to look at this. You cannot have your circle look like the top right-hand corner, where it's work and then there's this little slither of life. If that is the case week after week, then you unfortunately are running into challenges because the rest of your life is being sacrificed. So we wish to prevent negative and chronic stress in your life so that you don't burn out. And so by viewing this work-life balance, not necessarily as something of equal parts, but as something that is to do with your prioritization. You have a choice over what you prioritize. You can have boundaries for work and say, 5 o'clock, then my phone is not available after hours anymore. Because, why? It is family time. And so the reality with family and spouses and children is that, unfortunately, at work, the honest truth is that you can be replaced. But you cannot be replaced as a mother or a daughter or a father or a son. And so be aware of what you sacrifice if work takes up all of your time. And when it comes to this balance, the key is to find what fits your own individual needs and priorities. If you are an unmarried single person and you do not have children, maybe you are busy growing your career and you are living and doing every day at work what is your passion. And this is not making you stressed or making you feel uncomfortable. You are getting much energy from it. Balance is where you feel balanced, where you are able to show up most days as your best self. That is your balance. One of the other things that we wanted also to say is to remember there's a few additional points, Magnifique, and we won't have time today to go into the detail. But when it comes to a healthy life balance, can you maybe just share with us a small summary? Thank you.
And I think with the most of the key points that we wanted to give them, a lot of them you have already mentioned them. So one of the things that will help us to have this healthy life balance is taking care of our body, our mind, our soul. For me, taking care of my body is doing some physical exercises, going to sauna sometimes, and it might even mean a lot of things to you. So find some time to take care of your mind, your soul, and your body. Another thing is to have time, learn to make priorities and make sure that you have this time management. Learn how to manage your time well, because it will allow you to fit all those things that's going on in your life. Have time for each thing and make sure that you manage your time well. Another thing is to nurture meaningful relationship. We have already saw it in our individual being will that it's important to have our social life attend to. Have healthy, meaningful relationship from your family, from your friends, and from your colleagues at work as well. Another crucial point is set boundaries. Learn to say no. A lot of people, most of the time we because of our from the culture, from where we've grown from, no is not a full sentence. You need to explain more to your no. But when you feel like you need to say no, be confident in saying your no. As Kaylin said, a lot of time there will always be much work at work. There is always more projects coming, more of the things coming. So let's be confident saying no, or maybe say, wait, this can wait. I have other priorities. So know that no is a full sentence and you are allowed to say it with much confidence. And of course, take some time to pause, reflect, and respect. And as we're coming to an end, we are telling you that when you feel like a lot is going on and you don't know how to deal with this work-life balance, know that it's okay to ask for help, especially help from professionals who have been studying all the techniques to help you have this balanced life. It's okay also to ask help from your colleagues at work. If you feel like you are having a lot of workload and you have a lot of going on, you can talk to your supervisor, to your manager, and see if she or he can delegate other people to help you. It's okay also to ask from your spouses, your children, your friends, if there is anything they can help you to stay balanced. Yeah. And as we're coming to an end, a key takeaway from this session for me, and of course, Kaylin, I'll also ask you what is your takeaway, is that having a healthy work-life balance means having ability and permission and discipline to rest with the same intentionality as we work. As Kaylin said perfectly, we can always have people to impress us from at work, but no one can replace us as mothers, as friends, as whoever that we are in our lives. So as much as we attend to our work with intentionality, we need also to attend to our personal lives with the same intention. Thank you so much. Kaylin, did do you have anything like that you feel like
A key
this session?
takeaway. Thank you. Yeah, I think this rest, I agree with you. It's a key takeaway for me as well. We are so driven to keep going and to, and not to say no, and we must do everything and say yes to everybody. And I think, yeah, a lot of people that we've seen burn out because they don't know and have the same discipline to rest as hard as you work. Sounds weird, but that really is it. To just take rest. And for me, I think a key takeaway combined with that is that physical activity, especially in the outdoors in nature, is really critical because it does so much for our spiritual well-being, for our social well-being, and for our mental well-being.
And of course, as we're coming to an end, we are telling you that asking for help, we do not ask for help because we're weak. We do ask for help because we want to remain strong. And that's what we do here at MHub every day. We are trying to help people remain strong. So if you feel like you want to ask for help at MHub, we have a lot of counselors and they have a lot of expertise in different areas. And as you can choose from whoever you want to work with. And here we have our email if you want to contact us, and our telephone number if you want to write a message on WhatsApp or maybe call us. We are always here to help, and it's our biggest pleasure. Like for me, it's my biggest pleasure to be helping people. And yeah, you are so welcome, and we wish you well, and we want you to remain strong.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magnifique. Thanks everyone for joining us for this session on becoming a master of your stress. We hope it was helpful. Please keep these conversations going. Join us on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Spotify, because we want to normalize conversations around, I'm not doing okay today. It doesn't mean I have a disorder, but I'm not doing okay today. We want to normalize these conversations around, I don't have to work all the time. To be my best self at work, I need to rest. Because at the end of the day, we want all to stay mentally fit. We wish you well. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, bye.
Bye.